What's up?
Got
It's
it.
your girl, Ms.NiyaNicole, here to spark your soul. And I'm back with another video, also featuring my son, Risola. But I have a special guest as well. And you go by Scoop Ellington.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Scoop Ellington from the Inland Empire. Thank you for having me. Really
Thank you
appreciate
for being a part of my show. So, how did you come up with the name Scoop Ellington?
Well, to be totally honest with you, my nickname has always been Scoop. That's my
Mhm.
family. So, like, my rap names or my stage names have always been a derivative of Scoop. So it was like Young Scoop, then it was Bambino Brothers Scoop, Lil Scoop. I went by tons of Scoops. So at one point, I was actually going by Scoop Kid as well. And I really never liked that name, but I was just going by it because that's what my cousins would call me.
That's so nice.
So one day I'm watching Ken Burns Jazz and it's a segment on Duke Ellington.
Mm-hmm.
And like I really fuck with Duke Ellington, the way he played the keys. Like In a Sentimental Mood is one of my favorite jazz songs like of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just thinking, like, man, I wonder if Scoop Ellington is taken. Like, I think it would be a dope derivative. I looked around and voila, Scoop Ellington, and I've been Scoop Ellington ever since.
So, since your name is based on the American jazz composer, do you incorporate jazz within your music?
I mean, early on, yes, there was a lot of like heavy jazz samples early on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get back to that sound, but I'm kind of just experimenting and challenging myself with more, aggressive beats, I would say.
Okay. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer, a July Cancer at that.
Okay, I should have known.
You should have known. What does that mean?
Yeah, it was emotional. Pour your heart into your music.
Man, here we go.
But during your interview on Alt Black Podcast, if I'm pronouncing that right, you were asked, when seeking advice from others about your music, how do you differentiate constructive criticism from envy? And in your response, you mentioned who you surround yourself with is like talking to yourself, but you
Right.
still have to talk to you at the same time. So how do you remain in a high frequency to attract like-minded souls in your presence? And also, how do you keep your own intuition strong while you're seeking constructive criticism?
To be totally honest, like my circle is just solid. Like they're in my circle for that exact reason. As you know, as we just stated, I'm a Cancer, so I'm like a recluse by nature. So I don't really even rock with people like that anyway. So you got to go through very thorough screening
Mm-hmm.
before you even be considered my circle. So in regards to that, like my friends are reflections of myself, but also extensions of their selves as well. So yeah, talking to them is like talking to me, but then on the other end, they'll tell me when I'm wrong or where I'm at, and I'm always receptive to that. Like constructive criticism is really gonna help you grow. Period. So even if I feel like it's hate, I'll still take it with a grain of salt. Like, all right, well, maybe you saying this because you can't do it, but
Right.
I'll still take it into consideration.
Okay. So also, like, how do you find these friends in the first place? Like,
Man, it's wild because I feel like I don't find anybody, they find me. Like I'm such an introvert initially. So like I said, I don't really mess with people. So I meet these extroverted people that kind of adopt me. And then it's like, oh man, you cool. Like, we really do get along. So all of my friends that I'm really tapped into, or everybody in my circle at some point found me and we just locked in.
okay. Underneath one of your Instagram captions, you put, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I heard
That's
the
fact.
stairs is the better way. So what was that
Right.
realization moment for you that helped you apply that analogy to your life?
I mean, it's that African proverb, obviously, but in reference to it, we know that there's strength in numbers. So yeah, I could be a jack of all trades and I can do this by myself. I know that I'm fully capable of doing it. But one, why would I want to do it? And then on top of that, you're able to delegate and make things a lot easier as a
Right.
village. So that was just basically me paying homage to my friends and just letting them know that, they're essential in my life. And the
Mm-hmm.
stairs, we always take the stairs because
Right.
that's what you gotta do. That's the grind.
Right. Facts. I'm learning that the hard way because I feel like I can do everything by myself.
Ah, man, you gotta get your team, man. You can't do it
Right.
all. You can do it all at the same time, you know.
That is a fact. I don't like giving other people responsibility. That's what I'm learning by myself. It's like I feel like I can do it all.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you be
Fact.
like, man, I could just do it myself. Let me just do it, you know.
Right.
But
Right.
you gotta let people do their own thing. And even if they gotta make their mistakes, they gonna learn from it and you're gonna be
Right.
stronger in it anyway, you know?
That is a fact. So under one of your videos on Instagram as well, you captioned, "It's crazy I let 7 years pass without doing this." So why did you stop performing, or what was the turning factor that made you step back into your performing or back into music?
To be totally honest with you, like music and I have this love-hate relationship. Like when we on, we on, when we off, we off. And that's really what it is. So like during that time period, I was really off of music. Like, of course, I was still writing just because you got to keep the sword sharp, but I didn't have any intentions of releasing music or trying to pursue this at all. Like, I had really just put it on the back burner. I was getting older. Like a lot of things affected that. You know, I kind of let society tell me I was getting too old to do it, and so I was just believing in that. But you know, it's always been a love. It's always been there. But my boy, my brother, man, shout out to M16 the Great. He came through and he put a battery in my back, and it's been that ever since.
So, do you want to speak on your age? Do you want to say how old are you?
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm 34. I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year.
Okay. Yeah, you're not old.
I'm, I'm up there. I'm a little up there. But
Little
I feel like,
seasoned, not old.
yeah. But I mean, how I look at it is, if I'm 35, there's tons of other 35-year-olds that are going through exactly what I'm going through. So it's always a lane. It's always going to be a niche. So you should never quit. You know, no matter how old you are.
Right. Okay. When you contribute, well, you contribute the start of wanting to make music when you heard a line from a song, got my mind made up by Tupac.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the quote that you quote, the lyric is, the greater rhymer, wait, how am I saying? It's the greater rhyme creator on both sides of the equator. So
Yeah.
walk me through that experience when you was listening to, what is a CD player? It was an album back in the days.
And so this is it's an album. It's a CD, obviously. I'm probably like 8, 10. I don't even know how old I am at this point, but I just remember vividly. I'm laying on the floor, and I don't know how old you are. I'm not gonna ask you how old you are, but if you remember like those boom boxes to where you had like the middle console and then you had the speakers that kind of separated, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I am 26, so that was
Okay,
like kind of
okay.
like going out of fashion.
Okay. Well, you know, so yeah, it was on one of those type of boom boxes to where I had one speaker on the left side of the room and the other on the right side, and I'm laying on the floor. And at this time, I'm just a kid. I'm just listening to music. I know who Tupac is, but I'm not really listening to what they're saying. And one particular day, I'm laying on the floor, and this part comes on, and I'm like, wait. He said he's the greatest rhyme creator on both sides of the equator. That's the world. Like, how do you even think this? And I was just mind blown at that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, who is this? And now I'm looking at the credits and I'm like, okay, well, I see that, you know, Tupac is on the record. I know who Tupac is. I think I heard this Method Man guy. I think I heard him and seen him on TV before, but I don't know who the corrupt dude is, you know? So at that's when you know?
Yeah, my son, he's like bringing in his speaker and microphone and everything because he wants to hear it. So, it definitely, I do feel like it does start from young, of you knowing that you want to be in some type of entertainment field. Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy though. I was always into music, but I'm just now starting to make music randomly. I'm like, okay, when it hits you, it hits you. That's when I understand that whole comprehension of like being on with music and being off with music. It's like, Yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy in order
Man,
to go from thought to pen, however you write it, to recording it. Then they got to do their part, the engineers, back and forth. It's a lot.
so many parts, so many moving parts, man. But when it come together, be worth it though. That's the
Right.
thing. That's they never leave it alone because when you go from creation to consumption and you like, damn, like this existed in my brain at one point
Right.
and now it's out.
Right.
You can't stop, man. You can't
Right.
stop.
It is a high. It's a high that you
For
definitely want to
sure.
keep experiencing. So in 2021, you dropped Before, and that was in June. In July,
Mhm.
you dropped Before I Forget, and then in December, you dropped Forget I Said Anything. So your
Yes, ma'am.
discography titles tell a story. Was that intentional?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything I do is intentional. And I I try to be as cinematic as possible, you know. So even though they're their own brainchilds and their own separate entities, I want to always have a nod to weave them together. That's how all my projects are gonna go at this point.
Let's go. So what is
Thank
your
you.
writing process? Does the verses come first? Does the beat come first? Thank you.
But I would say beat comes first, then verses, then hook. That's normally what it is. Or I'll try to I'll try to compose a hook based on how I feel when I first hear the beat. So like whatever the first four lines is, if it's dope enough to be a hook, then I'll be like, all right, that's the hook. Because I feel like that's when your emotion is like at purest. You know, you haven't repeated it enough. Like as soon as you hear got that melody in your head or whatever you want to say, I think
Take that
always
over.
try to hook, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
normally it's verse hook, but if it's like, man, I don't know if this is strong enough to be a hook, it'll probably be two verses. Then I'll sit on it for a couple of days. Then I'll be like, all right, this is the hook.
Okay. So we got Before, and one of your
Uh-huh.
lyrics is live now because this is your moment. Death is in the air. That's in a different aroma. Hardest lesson that they teach you that you don't get a diploma, but this is my second time around, and my nigga, I'm on it.
Live now, cause this is your moment. Death is in the air, that's a different aroma. The hardest lessons that a teacher don't get a diploma. But this my second time around, and my nigga, I'm on it. Live now, cause this is your moment. Death is in the air, that's a different aroma. The hardest lessons that a teacher don't get a diploma. But this my second time around, and my nigga, I'm on it. Get it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is a soul lesson that you had to learn within this lifetime?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, do you feel like this is a okay, yes. I feel like my son is gonna try to interview as well. I said, do you feel like this is a soul lesson that you had to learn within this lifetime?
As far as in regards to like it being my second time around, or
Yeah, being
like
your second time around and yeah.
yeah, for sure. Cause I mean, like I'm an overthinker. I overanalyze everything. So if I'm left to my own devices, I'll be stuck either in the past or in the future, but I'm never really in the now. So that was kind of like a nod to myself, like, bro, you have to do this now. You have to live in the now because that's really all that's ever gonna matter. You know, you can recollect or you can anticipate, but in reality, right now is all we're ever gonna have. You feel me?
Right.
So that was literally just a nod to myself, or encouragement for myself to keep going, get into this, and really do what I needed to do.
Okay. So another line is lately been going crazy just thinking about Uncle Derek. Analyze the situation and I compare it. I'm embarrassed talking about depression that I inherited, but I'm gonna share it. I'm aware I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
Loaded in fire, lately been going crazy just thinking about Uncle Derek. Analyze the situation, in the end I compare. I'm embarrassed talking about depression that I inherit, but I'ma share it. I'm aware I wear emotions on my sleeve.
Putting yourself out there and wearing your emotions on your sleeve, is this a contribution or like a sacrifice that you're bringing awareness to generational curses, especially within our community, the African American community, not being so much aware?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I felt like it was really
Hold on, Chris.
for me to be as transparent as I have been. Like, you know, I grew up suppressing a lot of things early on, you know, even within to my young adult life, to where I kind of felt like my vulnerability, because I've always been, you know, I'm a Cancer, as you say, you know, you say, I say passionate, tomato. But I always kind of tried to shy away from that. But now that like I'm getting older and I'm realizing like I need to speak on these type of things, and it's okay, to be emotional. if that's it's totally be that, and to be transparent, so you don't suppress and end up doing something that you're gonna regret.
The same thing, basically.
Right. Facts. World facts.
Another lyric is niggas ask me what's next. I'm like, what if they laugh at me? What if I don't compare? What if I overshare? What if I show my heart and not a single person care?
Niggas asking me what's next. I'm like, what if they laugh at me? What if I don't compare? What if I overshare? What if I show my heart and not a single person cares? What if I drop a single and sing?
Yeah.
So these are very valid what ifs and self-doubts in one's process. So what do you do when you start to become conscious that you are embodying a leadership role? Like, how do you go about that? And when people are asking you too, what's next? And when people are wanting to know the solution, like, how do you take up and embody this leadership role once you stepped into it now, basically?
And you got to know what you're getting into, like I know once I started releasing music, or once it became a thing, that I was going to have to be this machine. I had to really mentally prepare for that, so at this point, I don't want to say it's a mask that I wear, but it's like something that has succumbed me at this point, to where I got to do it. There's no way around it. If I don't want to do it, or even if I'm like timid about it or really overthinking it, I really have to take myself out of myself and remind myself of what I do,
Fact. And it's a major I feel like it's an accomplishment, and also it's pros and cons to it, but I feel like it's an accomplishment to be put into a leadership role when you're level-headed specifically. But also it's just a burden as well to have so much responsibilities of other people basically looking up to you, or waiting for the next step, or wanting to know what they should do, that the solution provider basically. So that is a hard thing to manage while you're still young at 34.
It's trial and error, realistically. I mean, none of us really have a game plan or a set blueprint. So really, you got to be willing to just run over that hill. And if you got to take some arrows, you got to take some arrows. But at least did that,
Right. So the next project is, before I forget, now, what was the direction for the cover art of this project? What was the name of the movie that's on the scene that's on your shirt?
Oh no, my shirt was paid in full.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my was paid in full. That just was coincidental, I guess. But the concept behind the album art is it's me coming back to music. The house behind me, where in the album cover, that's actually my grandmother's house.
Your grandmother's house?
My grandmother's house. So I felt like that represented like the genesis of where I'm coming from. This is where I started at. I have to go back to where we started. In regards to my face being blurred, I felt like I didn't have an identity, and I had to really search for myself and find it. And I'm still kind of trying to find it in reference to that. So that's why I blurred face. And that was really it. That was really, my point that I was trying to get across. We started from the beginning. Even like in the intro, I kind of am recapping where I've been from one project to the next.
How do you come up with the direction for your music videos?
Man,
a lot of production that goes into it seems.
Yeah, it takes a village, to be honest. It takes a village. I can't say that this is solely me. We sit around, my whole team, it's about 6 of us. We sit around and we listen to the music, and I might have an idea, and that'll be like the spark. But then one person will be like, oh, it'd be dope if we do this, or let's try to do this, or we probably should do that. Like even for Major Moves, there was so many different concepts to that video. It was crazy. It was crazy.
So that was my next discussion was about Major Moves. One of your lyrics is, old school players and new school fools got this shit jumping like kangaroos. Had nothing to lose, but I made the news because it was all a dream now. It's Major Moves.
Yeah. Yeah. We got them like, look, I got them like old school players and new school fools. Got this shit jumping like kangaroos. Had nothing to lose, could've made the news. Cause it was all a dream, that was major moves. I said old school players and new school fools. We keep the shit jumping like kangaroos. Had nothing to lose, could've made the news. Cause it was all a dream, that was major moves, yeah.
What motivates you to show up for yourself?
If I don't show up for myself, I don't have nothing. I guess I motivate myself to show up for myself, because if not, then I'm dead, man. I can't do that, man. My family, you know, just being able to impact people, I don't feel like I'm done. I don't feel like I've even started at this point. So that's the fuel to the fire, because I need somebody to tell me that I changed their life.
Right.
I need that. So
this is Ms.NiyaNicole. We're going to take a quick commercial break. All right, Ms.NiyaNicole, and we're back from that quick commercial break. We were just talking about what motivates you, but we're also going to step into your new, well, not your new song, but also another song on that project called Love Is. One of your lyrics is, I'm too old to be frontin', how I'm feeling, acting like you ain't appealing. When you are, yes, I admit it nonchalant in the beginning, but really get to thinking it was written in the stars.
Feel your last name give you a ton to me. I'm too old to be frontin', how I'm feeling, acting like you ain't appealing when you are. Yes, I admit it nonchalant in the beginning, but I really get to thinking it was written in the stars. Round of applause.
So I was going to right here how old you were, or you're actually that. But do you believe souls interact and create lessons with each other prior to being incarnated and meeting here in this dimension?
1,000%. 1,000%. Feel like then that's a whole nother conversation, you know. But that's a whole that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, I do feel like, you know, familiar energies, souls, you know, this isn't the first time or the first plane that we have tangoed in reference to this, you know. So 1,000%, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, same. I feel like this was written in the stars, as you say, prior to us coming here and just living it, fulfilling it out.
Right.
Okay, so your next project is Forget I Said Anything. And one of the song titles is Pretty Woman. The lyric is, pretty woman off the floor for these pretty women. I risk it all for these pretty women. Okay, pretty women. I like to chill with these pretty women, relax and build with these pretty women.
They are so beautiful, we want them with us. Stop them raining. Beautiful, stop raining. Stop them raining. They are so beautiful, we want them with us. Stop them raining.
Pretty women often fall for these pretty women. I risk it all for these pretty women. Okay, pretty women. I like to chill with these pretty women. Relax and build with these pretty women. Okay.
Right.
Well, are you single right now?
Yes. Okay. I'm currently single, yes.
Can you see yourself settling with just one woman in life?
Yeah, 1,000%.
You said 1,000%?
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay.
It's just gotta make sense. But I love love, man. I'm an advocate for love, you know. So if that's how it's gotta go, then yes. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because some of them they feel like they want polygamy, so that's why I was asking.
That's not off the table either, to be honest. But it's not something that I feel like I need. You know, it's really not that serious to me. Like if I'm locked in and we locked in, then we locked in. You know.
Okay, your next song is Witching Hours. Did you sample Mooney Long? Hers. What was it? His and ours, or hers and hers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's wrong. But what would you do? For real. What would you do? You've been on my mind. I've been on your page, checking for your math. I don't got this safe. I've been off the grid. I've been out the way. Know you got the man, just hope it's not today. I send you a message.
Yeah. Funny story about that record. Shout outs to Ricky Rabbit first and foremost. I had the concept for the song, but sonically I couldn't find a beat to match it. Like, I didn't write the song yet, but I just had the concept, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I reached out to Ricky Rabbit. Great ear for, you know, tons of records. And she sent me like a pack of just beats that she and shout outs to Ralph Tiller as well. She sent me that beat and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I heard in my head. This is it, right? So write it, record it, drop it, release it. I don't think anything of it. I'm like, man, this is a great song. Then somebody hits me like, yo, so is this a response to Money Long or Mood, whatever her name is? And I'm like, I don't even know who is this? Like, so then I go back and I'm like, oh, okay. So we both got the beat from the same place. The beat was called Hours. So, I mean, it was kind of on par. But no, I didn't do it intentionally. I wouldn't have never did that if that was the fact. But I wasn't offended. I didn't take any, you know, anything in reference to it. It kind of just let me know that I was ready. You know, like, all right, we on the same way.
Right. Then you got a good ear.
Yeah. Shout out to Ricky Rabbit. Came through for that.
So you have another song called Fun. And
yes.
The chorus sounds like it's inspired by Kendrick Lamar, Poetic Justice.
Yes, ma'am.
I was right? Okay, cool.
Yes, ma'am.
So they say communication makes relations, I can tell. As late as you test my patience, babe, I'm hoping all is well.
Watch this. They say communication makes relations, I can tell. As of late, you test my patience, babe, I'm hoping all is well. Even though I love to stay, but see, I can't, I'm on the run. Though this may be more than sex, it's nothing more than fun. And they say communication.
Yeah.
So, who's your top 5 artists?
Of all time? Like, what are we talking about?
You can say all time.
What are we talking? What genre are we talking about? Are we talking about rap? What are we saying?
Just out any artist that you like.
That's impossible. That's impossible for me to say of all time top 5. Like, I mean, I guess.
So you could do one from each genre. So I guess.
Okay. All right. So this is all. It's hard. This is hard. Oh, wow. Definitely on the reggae front, I'm gonna say Bob Marley. Jazz, greatest jazz musician. I'm gonna say John Coltrane. Rap. This is horrible. This is hard. It's hard. But if I'm really drawing from like most influential to me, because it had to be a two-way tie between Jay-Z and Nas. I can't pick. I mean, Nas is my favorite rapper, but Hove has influenced me so much. So I'm gonna leave that there. R&B, another two-way tie between Stevie and Marvin. What else we got? Where else are we? Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll leave it. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. It's a calm top 5.
Yeah. You gotta keep it together.
Yeah. So you have another song called Raheem's Story. Are you Raheem?
Am I Raheem in what sense? What do you mean?
As in, are you talking about yourself in Raheem's story?
Well, yeah. So I'm really talking, both perspectives are. So the whole concept behind Raheem's story is obviously you've seen Do the Right Thing, right?
I don't think.
No. All right. So just to give a brief overview, just to make it make sense. Rachel, the character in The Right Thing, and he has 2 different rings, and he has love on one hand, he has hate, right? So, like, the whole story is basically just about a love-hate relationship. So my first verse is love, obviously. The second verse is hate. So it's just Raheem's story because we were talking about love and hate at the same time and how they correlate.
Okay. So what do you want your legacy to be known for?
Honestly, man, I want to leave a legacy based on the fact that you can be yourself and really prevail. You can talk about what you want to talk about, and you don't have to assimilate to what the masses is talking about. It's okay if you want to talk about being in love. It's okay if you want to talk about being hurt. It's okay if you want to talk about not wanting to work a job or whatever it is. Like, you don't necessarily have to go with the tide. You can be the tide, you know? So that's really what I honestly.
Okay. So lastly, what advice would you give an upcoming artist? Or something that you possibly learned within this industry and you just want to share?
And don't overthink the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do it and do it right now. And do it right now. There's not gonna be a good time. It's not gonna be a better time. The best time to do it is right now. Get a solid. You can't do it by yourself. Get a solid team and put people in position and make sure that you win. But most importantly, just do it now. Put that shit out. Don't overthink, because if you do, you ain't never gonna do shit.
Facts. Facts. You just overthink yourself to not putting anything on.
Right. Trust me, I'm a testament of that. We got 9 years.
Well, what can we expect new from you?
Man, I'm working on a lot of different things right now. I'm quiet. I'm quiet, and you know what it is when I get quiet. I got more visuals coming this year. We're gonna do a couple projects, just full force, more content. You're gonna see a lot of me this year. Trust me. Just hold tight.
Well, thank you so much for your time and being a part of the Ms.NiyaNicole show with our guest interviewer as well, Riz Salah.
Yes, sir. Riz, my man Riz.
That's not nice. That's not nice. But tell me, where can we find you on social media?
And across the board, Scoop_Ellington. It looks exactly how it sounds. It sounds exactly how it looks. I'm everywhere. Follow me. Just don't follow me in real life. Thank you so much.
Say bye. Say later.
Riz.
Say later. Well, thank you so much for this. Continue
No problem.
to stay blessed.